Alright, hey everybody. I hope everyone's had a good Wednesday so far. Let's turn this music down just a bit. Alright. Okay, so let's just get started. Okay, so yesterday we worked and completed, for the most part, asset loading. If I press play, it should run all the way through to the create map. So I'm gonna get started on that. And since we have the ability to load Lua files, I might as well go ahead and hook that up. Right, so don't need that. Okay, so that's not it. Okay, so I'll just have this class, which would be the map creator. And its constructor will take the map generation controller. And it'll work a lot like other classes like this. I'll just take a state machine for the phase. And then when the correct phase is entered, it will do its job and then signal the flow manager that it's complete. So controller, components, get or register. It's loading. Oh, not loading phase. Map gen. Okay, and then we'll subscribe to the enter state messenger for this phase, which this function will be called when a new phase is entered. Okay, so let's generate that method. So we do something like if phase state equals ent map gen phase, oops, that's the wrong thing. Map gen phase create map. That means that we're ready. But I guess we should probably wait one frame before we actually do that, but okay, so I could think of two ways that somebody might want to create a map. Either like just completely from scripts where they would be able to set all the data and stuff through a script, but then I can see them maybe wanting to generate a map from like an already created map, and that could just be loaded from a data file. So I'm trying to decide. Okay, so when we get here, we're supposed to have everything loaded already. So let's see. I guess we'll start on the table of contents. So I know we have this test model, but we don't actually need that anymore. So I can get rid of it. So this is script files. Okay, so I guess we'll have a string, and this will be, I don't know, map. Okay, how about map template file, and then we'll have another string, and this would be the map generation function. And so obviously the game will need to have one of these. I wonder how other games handle this. Because like Civilization, I can think of, they have like their basic European map. Or for, yeah, European or world map, for example. And they let you change the size of it. Well, maybe we don't really have to. I guess they would just do that through a generation function. But we'll have this template file, which will be some extra thing. Let's see what would... Basically, the template file would just need to have all the different blocks in each position. Should be pretty simple. So I already have this save field, which has the index and then the row size and size slice. We really could probably just use this same thing. Obviously it'll have more information. It's probably not the best idea though, in case we need to change, like the data types would be different in some way. Okay, well let's why don't we go ahead and support the Lua script first, because how it would work is that if we do have like a map template, the game itself would load that beforehand and generate the map to the template, and then the Lua file could modify it. So we can always add that later because it's not a huge problem. Like it wouldn't really change the way this works. Okay, so we have the map generation function, so we need to add that to the game data. And it's the moon sharp closure. And then in loading, we need to load that. I guess it's not here, it's in the model load manager. Okay, so we don't have this test model anymore. Get rid of that. Okay, so the framework shouldn't have okay, so that's just one thing. Like a content mod might have several maps on it, so we need to have some way, I guess in the lobby parameters it could specify a specific map. That would like load a whole lot of extra assets, so it probably wouldn't be the greatest idea, but in terms of the mod creators probably shouldn't do that, but I mean, I guess you could see one mod containing several monsters and several maps, and so you would just pick the one map that you need out of there. And I guess if there's a problem, we can look through and see what models are not going to be needed, and then we could dispose them. So, I mean, that's not an insurmountable problem. Okay, so what I need to do, the table of contents needs to have, let's see, right here. So yeah, the map generation function, but we actually need to have probably a whole class which has a bunch of data about a specific map. What should we call this? How about map blueprint? Or even map table of contents? I like blueprint better. Since it's technical Lizard Tamer mods, namespace. Can't spell that. Okay, so we know that it'll need the generation function. Oh, we could just call that. And then it'll also have other things like public string name and public string display name. We don't really need versions because it's contained within a mod, so. Okay, and this is serializable for sure. Let's clean this up. And then table of contents, we would have an array of map blueprints. Oops. And then I guess one would be specified within the lobby parameters. And then from there, yeah, that's how we do it. In the map blueprint would have a list of all the assets that we need for that specific map, and so only those would be loaded. So that works. Then I guess we should have script files if there's any scripts that only this map contains. Okay, so it's looking good. Back in the mod load manager, we should load all these things up. Okay, so the difference between the framework mod and the content mod is basically the framework mod will specify some certain functions that there can only be one of, but the framework can also contain content, I think. So the one specific function the framework mod might only have is like, how do we sort actions? The framework would have to take care of that. First, so let's load every script here. Let's talk script files. Does not equal null. Then for each script, so load Lua file. Okay, so what is the mod path? So mod folder path. script, and then exception name. Okay, I guess let's call it script plus script. Okay, and then so we need to get the mod or the map for the next part, and that's in the lobby parameters. It's public string, so map containing mod, and then public string map name. So basically, this will be the map mod if table of contents name equals lobby parameters dot map containing mod. Then we need to do the same thing except for the map. So let's do map blueprint. We gotta find the blueprint. So let's see. Find map blueprint. So we have the table of contents, and then this string. Okay, well I guess that's all we really have to pass. We might as well just pass the map name. Okay, so for each map and table of contents dot map blueprints. I guess I should make sure that the map blueprints array is not null. There's a missing curly brace there. So if map name equals map name, then we'd return this map. And if we get down here, we would throw new mod load exception. Cannot find map in mod. Okay, and I'll wrap it in quotes. Oh, it deleted that, my ending quote right there. Stream format. Table contents name. Okay, so map blueprint map equals find map blueprint. Lobby parameters map name. Next part. Oh yeah, we gotta load all the scripts for the map and then load the map generation function. So map script files. Okay, let's do the string format. This will have log parameters, map name, and then the script. This to be a little more descriptive there. And now we need load Lua function. So the mod name is this table of contents name, and function name and table of contents is the map generation function. So it'll be string format map 0 generation. I forgot to string format that. Oops. So it's lobby parameters map name. Okay. So what does it need this mod name for? Okay, this is fine. I was seeing that, do we need to actually be able to add the map in front? But that doesn't really make any difference. Okay, so this is all for now. So the map load manager will take care of that, and then in the asset organizer, so we don't do this anymore. Instead, we go database, map generation function equals. Also, we need to add the Lua environment here from the loaded. Loaded Lua environment, get global, so let's make a helper function here, private closure gets function, and we'll have the, I guess we'll need a table of contents. And also the string function name. Okay, so let's use this function name equals. Oh yeah, so this is actually the function key. And then we'd return loaded environment, get global function key function. And so I should actually make sure this is a function. So let's get dynamic value. Okay, so if dynamic value type. Wait, did I do this already? Yeah, I did, didn't I? I did this part in the asset loader. Yeah, of course, all the functions are already collected for me. So we just return. Well, it's actually like this. Closure func if loaded functions try get value function key. Okay, so if this is true, we just return this right away. Otherwise, we need to throw an error. No function found named okay, and this shouldn't really ever happen. If this happens, this is a problem in my code and not the mod author's code. Oh right, string format. Okay, so instead of calling get global, I just call get function, and then okay, so I need to find out which mod is the map mod actually. So table of contents, map, mod, table of contents. Maybe I should just do this in the loaded assets. Public table contents, so map mod. So it gets the function of the loaded map mod, and okay, so let's make this even easier. Map blueprint. So loaded map blueprint dot generation function. So we need to fill in those values here, which is pretty simple. Just okay, what's it called here? Final assets map mod equals table of contents and final assets map blueprint. I don't really know how this could happen, but I guess if final assets map mod has already been set, then we should throw something here. We don't have the map load exception here? Oh, yeah, not map load, mod load exception. So map mod already set. And again, this should never really happen. For mod authors, it's be some problem with my code. And then we also need to make sure that there is a map mod. I guess we could do that here. So if loaded map mod is null or loaded map blueprint is null, then we would throw new mod load exception, no map mod set, which again would be some error. So we don't need to be some error with my code, so we don't need to be super descriptive about it. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna throw errors now because we obviously don't have any of that set up. But I wanted to try and play, but the test model is null. Okay, we don't really need to dispose of the what am I trying to say? Any Lua functions, because it just gets rid of it ourselves when we remove it from memory. Okay, so yeah, it says no map mod set, which we knew would happen because I think in the lobby parameters we never set these values. Okay, so we need to add something else to the test params, which is what I'm using to set up the lobby parameters just while we're building the game. Here. Okay. So public string map mod and public string map name, and then where do I set that up? Actually, I guess I should that map blueprint. Okay, yeah, so I need to add this to the message, of course. So public string map mod name and public string map blueprint name. And map blueprint. Okay, now where is this stuff set? Okay, here. So message map mod name is test params map mod and message dot. Oops. Okay, so now let's go ahead and fill those values in. Oh, it's got some problems now. Oh, did I? Yeah, I didn't refactor the names, I just did it. Okay. So that's fine now. Alright. Then I need to go resources, test parameters, and set the map mod and the map name here. So let's see. I guess we'll put it in test content, and I'll just call this test map. Sorry about that. Alright, so back, what's I doing? So I guess, I don't think the test content mod has anything in its table of contents. Oops, didn't need to scan it. Thank you, Windows. Okay, so this is fine. Hopefully I'll get the syntax correct. So let's look. Contents. Oh, okay, so I call it map blueprints. And then map blueprint. So the name, this will be test map, and display name, you can go ahead and set this as well. And then it had the scripts and whatever else. Okay, yeah, script files and a generation function. Script files. And how you do that is string. Is it telling me street? So let's create a map gen.lua. And then map generation function. That's what I call it. I guess just generate map. Okay, so let's go ahead and create that file here. Map gen.lua. Oops. Okay, well, I spelled that wrong, of course, so it's going to make me type it all again. Okay, I do want to change it this time. Okay, so we just have map or generate map equals function. And yeah, we don't know what we'll do, but let's just have a dummy here. Generating map in Lua. Okay, so now let's see what happens. This will be our first time loading up a Lua file, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is some error. Okay, no value given for expected Lua function. Map, test map generation, okay. Okay, so this is because the name is null. Maybe because I put the wrong string there. Oh yeah, this is generation function, so that makes sense. Okay, yeah, so we've got some problem here. Object reference not set to instance of object, so it started loading the file. Let's see what this problem is. Okay, so I'm guessing environment is null. Let's see, find references. Is that because the Lua environment hasn't been set yet? Yeah, I guess it is. Okay, that's kind of funny. Let's see. Let's see if I do call it somewhere else. Okay, no, I never do. So that would be mod load manager. Okay, so I guess we do it right here. So final assets dot map mod, oh no, dot Lua environment equals new. Okay. So that's all I need to do. Okay, yeah, I didn't set up the default print handler yet. Let me pull up the code to do that. Can't remember it. So again, Moonsharp has a great tutorial. Okay, error handling maybe? It's not script loaders. I forget what it's called. Script options, yeah. Yeah, this is what I wanted to set the debug print to go to the Unity log. So we'll just change this to Unity engine debug log string format. Okay, and just to stay consistent with the rest of my code, I'll put parentheses right there. Oh, and of course I need to put the S like that. I guess I could just do something like this. Environment or options debug print. This makes sense because I set the default options every time this Lua environment's created anyway, so. Okay, but that's not going to fix, well, hopefully this bug is fixed, but that was just something I knew we'd need later. Okay, so, yeah, we got an error. No function found named generate map. Why would that be? Because right here I have the generate map function created. Okay, so I guess let's make sure that this file is loaded. And I can just call this print right here. Okay, loading Lua file. Okay, and we did get the loading Lua file. But for some reason, generate map does not get set. So, okay. That might not be my problem though. Or a problem in that specific code. Let's look here. So what is, when I call load Lua function, I should probably add a debug here. What do I call this? Okay, I do call it when everything's done. Okay, so let's debug log storing Lua function at, and this will tell us every Lua function. So func name. Okay, now let's go ahead. We can have the debug name here as well. Is this ever used for anything? Okay, I guess right here is fine. Okay, so loaded Lua maption. Okay, so it never actually deposits any functions, which is a little strange. Let's see. Oh, because I don't add it? Okay. So Lua functions func key equals new. Okay. So yeah, another silly mistake like that. Storing Lua function. Okay, why is it doing that? Okay, so let's see. Storing Lua function, that's fine. Oh yeah, so I was looking for why it keeps on calling that store. Okay, so find all references. It's called... So do we never turn off this? Oh yeah, we don't. So else. Okay, so that was kind of silly, but... Okay, and it still can't find generate map even though we are setting it. Okay, so storing Lua function. Okay, so well, the function names are global, so I guess our function keys should also be global. Yeah, that's what I did here. Okay, so then asset organizer. Oh, but yeah, I do this wrong. The function key is just the function name, because functions are global. Yeah. So that was our problem. And this is because just when we set this generate map, it goes into a global script environment. We could separate them all, make every mod to have its own environment, but then they couldn't ever call functions between each other, which is probably not a good idea. But I guess in practice, any mod author would want to do something like test, something like that, to make sure that their functions are not overridden by accident. Since I did that, let's change this. Okay, so let's try one more time. Okay, so it actually went all the way through. So now what we need to do is down here in the map creator, we can call that function. So game data, oops, didn't show up for me. Oh, because I'm not using the right namespace, okay. And then database equals controller, game components, get database, global components. Okay, and then when we create the map, we'll call database dot map generation function call. Now we don't have to check that this is null because we're trusting the loading phase to have already done that for us. Okay, so just need to do a little more setup before we can actually call. This actually gets called. Turn 0. The tick janitor. Controller, table list, add a new. Okay, I guess we don't want to do it that way. Controller, game. So force active equals true, and then controller, table list, add. And then maybe we'll just set this to true here, or false. Okay, and so then you'll start calling this tick function, which you could just call create map. Right now it'll happen in one frame, so this is okay. The main thing I wanted to happen was this function to be called so we can get our debug message in there. Okay, so we didn't get it yet. Oh, because I probably don't create this map generation or the map creator class yet. Right, there we go. Always the first thing to check. Okay, so yeah, it's gonna call out every frame because we never exit out. Let's go ahead and have our message here, which is the message on complete. So on complete equals controller components get message int. What is it? Map gen components map creation complete. Okay, we also, I guess we'll go ahead and have support for errors. Might as well. Private message mod. Okay, let's not mod load exception. Okay, well, I'll wait to do that because it's a bit of busy work. Okay, and then we'll just call on complete send. And then on this flow manager private, oh no, we don't need to do that. So controller components get or register message and map gen components. Message create and then subscribe. So on map created. So private void on map created. And if phase is in the correct state, gen phase, what is it, create map, then we go ahead and move to the next state, which is, so what is the next state? Okay, so yeah, we read the state from the file, from the save file. That's actually a little out of order, isn't it? Because, I mean, if the map is created randomly, well, I guess we would get the, yeah, we should probably have, well, I'll worry about this later, but we should probably have some class that reads the save file at the very beginning because we need to get the random number generator seed. So let's do that here. Okay, so read save file. So now I don't need to have the separate read state, it just goes straight to setup state. Yeah, which would read from the file and then set up teams and stuff. Okay, so yeah, I need to obviously create that save file reader, but we'll wait to do that until, well, I'll probably do it in just a second, but those have some errors. Okay, so after create map, we go to setup state. Okay, and it does work. Okay, but obviously we can't actually set up the map like this because, well, I mean we can, but what is Lua gonna call? So basically we'd want some class here. Called like mapgen, and then I don't know. Set block, and then we'd have the row or column, row, and slice, and then the terrain index. That'd be one, and then we'd also want things like mapgen get width. Yeah, probably want to set the width and height. Okay, slow. Yeah. So to make, we'll be doing quite a bit with Lua files probably, so I'll make a separate little namespace. It's called Lua interface. How should I call it? I guess I should call it the field because that's what I've been calling it instead of just a map. Okay. Okay, so I forget what's the in Moon Sharp. There's a specific namespace you tag. Oh yeah, Moon Sharp user data. And then there's another function you call to push all these definitions into Moon Sharp. Oh, right here, register assembly. I should probably do this like right when the game is created. Okay, so I'm just going to run that and see if it gives me any errors. Okay, it did. I don't even know what I changed. Oh, it was trying to run this mapgen block type which doesn't exist yet. And obviously I don't handle exceptions here. So let's go ahead and add that. Well, we just had that problem. So this This would just be mapgen exception. I can kinda just copy the mod load exception, which I mean is pretty simple. Make it public. Oh, one too many curly brace right there. Okay, so we're done there. Okay, and we'll need to have our message. What's this? Oh, that's main sharp. Okay. So mapgen exception. Okay. And exception equals controller components get bar register. So yeah, we've done this a million times. So mapgen components. And I'll copy and paste this. And then I just need to do a try catch. Exception, and I guess I can go ahead and debug log exception. We won't need to do this later because the error handler will print it for us. Oh gosh, I can't type 3 letters. And then we send. There we go. Okay, so one thing is if we just call this function, we'd have to handle errors each time ourselves. Which I guess isn't a huge deal, because we might want to deal with it in different ways. So I guess I will just... I was thinking that we could have something in the Lua environment that would call a function for us, but I'm not sure it's needed. So we want to catch. Okay, what was there? Script runtime exception. Script runtime exception. And then we would just throw our new mapgen exception. String format exception and map generation function. And then we'd use the Lua exception decorated message. Okay, so let's just run it one time because we know there'll be an exception and we can see what it is. Oh, it's still... Oh yeah, because nothing exits out. Okay, so I know I'm going to need to change this, but right now I'll just have the flow manager subscribe to this exception message. Where is it? Flow manager. Subscribe. Oop. New simple listener. Okay, and I guess while I'm here, might as well Let's move this code. And then we'll just call on error. Okay. So now that should set the phase to error phase, so it won't keep running forever. Yes, that's a good. Okay, so back to this field generation. Okay, so trying to decide how do I want to handle. Okay, well, there's like setting an index, like right here. Obviously our map is 3 dimensions, so one way to do it would just be Lua would just keep track of 3 different variables, which is a bit confusing. Well, not confusing, but I mean it can be hard to work with. We could have Lua send in a table. That might be the easiest way. And then we just know that this table is the 3 values. Another way would be if we provided some custom class, which was basically a wrapper for our hex position class, wherever that is. Because you don't ever want to provide structures directly to to Lua, because it can cause some problems. Especially since it doesn't even need to know about some of these things. But it might be nice to have a specific hex position class. Let's actually move this Lua interface out. Okay, and so I'll just call this block position. I don't know. Well, I guess this is fine. Let's see. So we'll have public column. Oops, a public int column. So I guess the question is, do we want I guess it'd be fine if Lua can set these. Private int row and private int slice. Okay, I wonder what order I'll build these in. Okay, good, it does put at the bottom. Okay, so this will be pretty much all we need for now. And then I need to put moon sharp user data. Is that correct? Okay, and then whenever you create a new class or expose a class to Lua, you need to either hide the constructor, which you do Moonsharp hidden, because otherwise it'd be able to create instances of this class which you may or may not want. Actually, not sure how would Lua create a new class? Just scanning through here to see if it shows constructor. Oops, I didn't want to. Let's remove that. Let's say Control F. Okay, so it doesn't have that here. Calling back C#. Construct. There's probably some way to do a constructor, but not super important. How I'd probably want to do it is there'd just be some function called block position. You'd pass, and then you'd have that, and then we would send this block here. Okay, so public void set dimensions. So the width, height, okay, so this is actually confusing. So num columns, and actually integers, num rows, and num slices. I'm not sure how we'll hook this up just yet, but I'm just going to create some functions here. And then we'll have public float or int num columns. So for now, I'll just throw new not implemented exception, because I'm not sure how I'm going to store that, but I don't want it to give me problems. Num rows and num slices. This might be better. Num layers instead of slices. That actually makes a bit more sense. I'll rename as much of them as I can while I'm thinking about it. Position. This is fine. Rename layers. This will be layer. Okay, there might be a couple of instances of slice, but it's not a huge deal. Probably the save field has it. Yeah. Okay, so another thing we'd want here is something like public void set block prototype. And we would have a block position and then int or actually it'd be a string. And then public another thing would be just that we would get an actual like block data object. Where it would say something like, I don't know, get block, and then it returns a data object that you could set the prototype and whatever else. I guess that would be a little more powerful, so. Okay, so this will be field gen block. Sharp user data. Okay, let's clean this up. There's going to be too many files up there. Alright, and then I need to create and hide this constructor because I definitely don't want Moonsharp to see this. Okay, so we'll have private string prototype name. Actually, we might even store it. Might not store it like that. But we do want public string prototype get throw new not implemented exception and set. Okay, so instead of calling this set block prototype, we would just call get block, and then we would return the block data. And then we'll probably have some way that you can get the block position. And yeah, you should be able to set it from here as well. Because one of the main things I want for this game is for the blocks to be able to be moved around. And then we'll have other things for like statistics for the specific block. I guess we can get that now. Public void. I don't even know how we'll handle statistics, to be honest, yet. I guess this will be a surefire way. So set stat string stat name and then dynamic value. That will definitely work. And then public dynamic value get stat. And then we don't need like a way to remove a stat because you could just set nil. That's how it works with tables. Okay, so is there anything else? At this point, I mean, you don't set monsters or anything. Maybe you'd be able to register like monster spawn positions, probably. But we don't handle that just yet. Okay, so now let's set up. So here we would call database Lua set. Oh, we don't have a set global function yet. Definitely want to get that. Oops, wrong thing. So public void set global string global name, and then it would just be, I guess, a dynamic value is the safest way to do it. So environment global set does that work? Yeah. So then we do something like this. Database Lua set global. So field gen. And then it's what is it? Dynamic value. User data? Yeah, new user data. And then user data dot create. And then we just call the new field gen. Just one more set of parentheses. Cannot convert from. Oh, does this? Okay, this actually creates a user data, so we don't have to call that. Okay, so the other thing we need is the creator to create a block position. Which I guess we'll set here, but block pose is dynamic value dot new function. What is that? New closure. Okay, I forget exactly how to do that. Let's see. Globals. Okay, so I could just give it this function. I'm sure there's some way to do it from the dynamic value itself. Closure. This is not how you do it. So private block position. Create block position. Oh no, it's column first. Oh, I didn't rename this yet. Okay, and let's see, will that work? Okay, let's do a quick little Google search to see if this will work the way I want. Moonsharp, create dyn value closure. Does this do it? This explains about a dynamic value. Let's see this reference. I don't think this works. Yeah, actually, we don't want that. Okay, so I guess we won't do it this way. Okay, what are the overloads? Okay, I know there's some way to do what I want. I just want to create functions, or create a new dynamic value. From object. This might be what I need to do. Oh, because it asks for a script which we don't have yet. No, that's not right. So closure doesn't have any way to create a new one, does it? Let's do this. Okay, I guess I'll look through here. Turn on closure script. Yeah, I don't think this is how it works. Because this closure needs a specific script, so I just want to create a dynamic value with this function in it. Okay, I guess we can't do it that way. So globals. So maybe we could just do it this way. Globals, global name equals value. And we can just change this to an object. Okay. And then I just need to Okay, yeah, the result goes at the end, so it's int, int. It's got a cast to that, so the compiler knows. That doesn't work. Oh. Okay, then do I need this? Yeah. Okay, so yes, the compiler needs to know that you want to cast that method into a delegate. Alright. Okay, so that was more trouble than I was hoping, but whatever. And then we want to remove these globals now. Move global string global name environment globals remove. All right. Then we just remove these here because they're only needed during this map generation. Okay, so let's see. Clear this up. I guess we can print this and see what happens. Okay, so I guess this would be moon sharp hidden, and then we'd want override to string. It's not gonna work for me. Huh. And so return string format. I guess it doesn't really need to be hidden. There's not really a reason. Okay, so column, row, layer. Oh. Okay, so let's see if it'll print out. Let's make this one or 0. Oh, actually, things in Lua are 1 index, so 0 would be out of bounds. So we should do 1, 2, 3. Let's see what happens. Okay, and it did print. So that's good to see. So now I guess we gotta hook it up with the actual battle. So when is this set up? Trying to think, because we have, okay, so we have this battle, which is like the current state of the game. So it has like the field, which is what we're interested in right now. And then the battle log has the like the very start, but it's like in a way that's easy to save to a file, so I guess it doesn't really matter that much. probably the best thing to do would be to have some separate class that's just for map generation. It holds all the information we need, and then we can translate it into this battle class. And that would be... I don't know, that might be just an unneeded step. Let's look here. Okay, so that's a save. Okay, so the save file actually would hold the map, so we don't really need to generate it again. Are we? Yeah, we don't need to generate it when we're loading from a save file. Let's see. Yeah, because it has everything, all the information about the map. Okay, so well, I guess this is a good place to stop probably. So I think I'll think about this since we're almost done anyway, and we'll start doing this part tomorrow. Okay, so yeah, thanks everybody for coming by and watching. If you did miss part of the stream and you want to catch up, I'll put this up on YouTube tomorrow, and you can see a link on the bottom of my channel here, and of course subscribe, or not subscribe, but follow me to be notified when I go live tomorrow, which will probably be around 8 Eastern. And right, I hope to see you there. Thanks again everyone. Bye bye.